Look at these incredible deluxe figures from Mattel, 1993, from the Ren and Stimpy Show. They had a little action figure toy line in their heyday. I've been looking at some of the other figures, and here we have the two deluxe figures. A little bit bigger packaging, bigger accessories and functions and features to check out. So we'll open these up brand new so we can take a good look at all the stuff they come with. These have really cool packaging in the style of the show, like very fitting theme, a cool kind of cartoon drawn version of the action figures on them. We got gritty kitty Stimpy with Swat-A-Fly action sitting in that litter box, and bathtub Ren Höek with underleg bubbling action. Need to bring back that phrase, underleg. These are kind of vehicle-ish figures because we see both of them have wheels involved in their little functions. Check out the backs here. Just wanted to point out it shows all the figures in the line at the bottom. The 3 sets of regular figures and then the deluxe figures shown now. The past ones didn't show the deluxe figures, so I don't know if they were kind of a later thought to create for this toy line because they are not advertised on the regular figures card backs. And then we can see the edge here kind of cropping Ren's little bubble here. And on the back of these it's complete because these are a little bit wider cards because they are the bigger size deluxe, which I assume meant they were a few bucks more than the regular figures as well. So we'll have to choose Stimpy to open first here. On the front here, that cartoon image drawn, and then just a picture of the figure kind of in action showing he spins around and swats flies as he rolls. We even have the flies that were just trying to eat their meal. As usual, disgusting things happening on the Ren and Stimpy Show. I'd like a percentage of how many episodes end of them dying, because that was usually the ending. Here's some demonstration photos on the back. We'll get to do it in person here, but I do like to read their little phrase, because some of them are kind of worded funny. That shows annoying flies to Stimpy's head. Then push Stimpy along in his litter box to make him spin. Cock and release arm to make him slap at flies. Not swat, slap at flies. Then there's the little thing you're supposed to cut out as like a collectible card. I always just kept the whole card backs when I was a kid because you had all the pictures of all the other figures that you wished you could get. Screenshot from an episode of the show of him sitting in his litter box watching Muddy Mud Skipper television, rotting his brain from watching cartoons. Stimpy's big day. Stimpy is crazy for the Muddy Mud Skipper show and loves the Gritty Kitty Litter television commercial. Stimpy's already rolling around in his own litter box as he hangs on every word the announcer says. And it sticks to any surface. It's like the smell of fresh bison. And how about that wonderful feeling you get when you squeeze it between your toes? Stimpy lovingly scoops up litter in each of his paws, rolls over on his back, his feet sticking playfully in the air, and begins to squeeze and squish his gritty kitty litter through his toes. Stimpy knows there's only one thing better, to pop it in your mouth for a between-meal snack. I gotta say, the litter box thing was just kind of disturbing, because we always had a lot of cats in my house as a kid. Nothing grosser than the whole litter box. But we even get a quiz question. I love when there was stuff like this on the card backs. Question: what prize did Stimpy get out of his cereal box? Only the true Ren and Stimpy fans will know the answer. It was a Muddy Mud Skipper cereal bowl caddy. Just a cheap little toy put on the edge of his bowl of cereal. Hey, you lousy bums! Kind of interesting, a little additional note here. Stick Stimpy on his nose where he loves to stick it the most. Spins as he goes. But there's like an added note. It's like a separate sticker here saying don't let his feet touch the litter when spins. Which is a little strangely worded, but I think they're just noting that it could kind of stop the spinning if you don't position the feet right. So we'll have to check that out once we get this open. Check it all out. New in the packaging, but that's kind of just what I do here when I collect older figures I never got to have as a kid, kind of finishing my older collections. Get to kind of relive those birthdays and Christmases and stuff when you actually get some sweet action figures. Rip them off the card back, save it in my little binder, keep all my card backs. We get to open a fresh figure. Oh yes. So we have the Stimpy litter box here. Which again, why I was saying these are kind of almost like vehicle deluxe figures. Got the fly swatter. Psh. Here's those pesky flies. We're trying to eat here! and Stimpy. Of course, I've been opening these Ren and Stimpy figures, and this is like a really nice Stimpy figure if it didn't have this lump of litter on his head, but that fits the theme of this figure, and he's kind of built to have like the feature built in here, so here's a little mechanism spot cough, as well as on top of the head. But yeah, I really like the shape and form of him. This would have been a better way to do him, you know, give him his normal head and release this figure, because I kind of like this Stimpy compared to some of the other ones. You want to check out those other videos at the end of this one. I mean, he has his articulation, except the right arm does have like his feature that we're going to see here. This one, it will go all the way around, but he's kind of outwardly shaped to block it naturally. And the legs can't quite go around either because of the same reason the body blocks it. It would spin around, but he's just too darn big. But it is cool that you can, I mean, it's built to do a feature thing with this litter box vehicle, but you can kind of stand him just like a normal figure as well. But I do like that that was like thought of. Obviously it caused some issues. They had to put that sticker saying like, hey, you gotta push the feet up really high to make the feature work. So there we can see when we roll the wheel, this little knob turns, so that's probably what's going to give Stimpy his motion here. Big vehicle thing here. You got like kind of rubbery bits over the wheels. Not sure why they went the extra mile on that one. And there's all that textured litter. Nothing visible in the litter box, if you know what I mean. That would have been maybe a step too far there. But we can sit Stimpy on his litter box like this. Yeah, I think you can put the feet down too low and they're like hitting the box. You just need it up a little bit so that he clears that. We can give him his fly swatter. Just goes in there just fine. And then the flies, they're just like on this little knob. I think you can just pull this right off. It's just kind of its own piece. Tiny little piece here. Very, that's why a lot of these figures I have to buy new in the packaging to make sure I get all the little accessories, because you'd probably buy this used and this piece is probably long gone. It's just the nature of the beast here. I mean, kids playing with this. I was pretty good with my toys, but I mean, I was only so good at keeping everything together. I still end up losing and possibly breaking a few things here and there. We got Stimpy all together. He's got the flies on the top. So we can try out the feature here. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah, he is spinning around here. That just causes him to spin, which does kind of trigger the flies a little bit strangely. Well, you mostly can just kind of flick that. Flick it, go for a spin. That's not causing the arm to move on itself. You have to kind of do that yourself. Just raise his arm up and let go, and it kind of flicks with the swatter. So if the fly is there, then it kind of hits it and causes it to spin on its own. So it doesn't do every action for you just from rolling. You gotta kind of do some of this. Swat at those pesky flies. There's a lot going on here. It's a little strange. It looks a little odd with his fly helmet here, since you can obviously see the bar that the flies are on. So that's a little visually crappy there, but it's kind of cool. They gave him like a fly swatter thing. I almost want to say in the video games of the time. I feel like one of them, maybe you had like weapons and somebody had a fly swatter. Seems right. Feels like I'm not talking crazy, but do you think I've gone mad? I was like renting those games. Couldn't really get very far because they were pretty punishing. If you look them up, they just have like terrible endings that are just do not make it worth slogging through those games, but it's cool just to see the game like as you're playing through it, all the artwork and stuff. Crazy animations. So this does have an extra feature. I mean, the flies you can probably just do not on the litter box. You kind of just do that on its own. Maybe you just have him spin with the litter on his head without the fly mechanism going on. But he's actually double-ended. He's got the same kind of hole here that holds that plug for the fly mechanism. You can spin on his head as well. So a little dual purpose there, why not? It just kind of just needs a hole there. It doesn't need like to attach to any feature because this is doing all the spinning for you. So there's a lot to play around with. I just wish maybe we didn't need the litter on the head if I was looking at this as just a figure, but since I did just get it as the Deluxe and just wanted it for all the features and looks of that anyway. But I can see it's for, you know, the fly mechanism. If it was just his head, he'd have like a weird hole in his head anyway. Not sure what you would play with it as a toy, but it's cool as what I'm getting it for now is like a nostalgic kind of collectible. Remembering the Ren and Stimpy Show from when it was new on TV, always waiting for new episodes to come on. 1993, it had been on for a while. They got a little late getting some of the toys going. You can see it's put together with the seam and stuff, but it's really bad looking here on the nose, the way it's like, looks like you can really see it's glued on with the nose piece. That's a little strange, but typically you wouldn't see it from this angle. But yeah, I like this shape of Stimpy like this for this figure compared to some of the other ones. Okay, Stimpy, we get to look at Bathtub Ren Höek now. The ever-popular Space Madness episode even kind of references it in the little bubble there. Has his little bath in there. A space episode. But here, you know, in the bathtub, he is without garments. This one looks like it has a lot of features going on, too. Maybe even cooler ones than Stimpy. Take a look here on the back. So it looks like you actually fill it really with water, because then he also has a water squirting feature. You get this note a couple times about only use water in the tub, no other liquids. Just don't whiz on the electric fence, kids. And it might make your play area slippery. And then it's a note, the same kind of note down here as well, about caution. So they were like really particular about the water for this one for some reason. Of course it looks cooler on theirs because they have like slightly dyed water. A little bit of that awesome blue to bring it out. We got the screenshot from the Space Madness episode. There you can see his ice cream bar on the shelf by his bathtub. It's crazy that each one of these got their own write-up. Even like some of the pairs that look like they're from the same episode. They had a little bit different write-ups. Sci-Fi Space Madness. While Commander Höek and his faithful companion Cadet Stimpy travel endless, uncharted regions of space at speeds so fantastic they throttle the imagination, Stimpy knows his buddy is about to lose it. Pours him a nice wet bath, as opposed to a dry one. As Ren Höek sinks into steamy hot bathwater, he sighs deeply. Suddenly his eyes swing to the right, then to the left. Ah, no one in sight. With a familiar glassy-eyed, contented look on his face, we begin to see bubbles floating up in rapid succession in the water's surface. In these few sacred moments, Ren Höek soaks, unaware that he is slowly falling victim to Space Madness. Did a little underlegger in the bathtub there. And of course the patented trivia question. Are you ready to put your Ren and Stimpy knowledge to the test? What did Ren Höek threaten Stimpy with when he finally went mad? Oh man, can you guess it? He grabbed a toothbrush and began to brush his teeth like mad! Don't do it. He brushed his teeth, man. Truly went space mad. This one looks like a lot of fun. I really am looking forward to this. Gonna open it up. Yes. Bathtub background. The cartings had like different backgrounds too for Ren and Stimpy. Separate. Really went all out on that. Look at this big old piece here. We got a Ren. Let's just take a look at Ren here first. Another one where they kind of went the extra mile and gave him full body articulation. So he does have a soft head because that's kind of his little feature. It is not articulated to spin or turn at all. I mean, every frame of Ren and Stimpy like really draws Ren and Stimpy different. So Ren was always like the most changed. All the figures have very vastly different depictions of him. But again, I like these. They're pretty good bodies like and depictions for them. This one just has his ice cream bar in his hand. Okay, yes, it is a bar of soap that he took a bite out of because he's gone mad. But I mean, we have like the articulated arms and legs. So it's still like a figure, it's just kind of very specific to go with the accessory, which is this huge bathtub here with a motor on the back. I don't think that was in the episode, but I think this is like part of the feature. Oh, it's like its own squeeze box too. You can see the little bathtub drain down there that's actually part of the feature as well. Just on squeaky wheels. Though, of course, in the episode, it wasn't on wheels. It was turned off the gravity, so his bathtub's kind of floating around. So here I go. We have our patented Captain Planet cup filled with water and nothing else. Because we actually need water for the bathtub. We'll fill it up here. Oh boy, I always get into trouble using actual water with these water action figures. Something always goes wrong with these, so please no, be careful. There it is, really filled with water. I mean, you could fill this with boiling water and you could see the steam coming off the bathtub. That would be responsible of me, wouldn't it? Guess we'll start out with his squirty feature where we kind of give him a squeeze so the air is out of the head. He's got a little hole in the mouth, kind of hard to stick down in here, but let go so he fills up with water. Basic function, try it out. He's not working too great because it looks like just from being older, the seal at the base of the neck is actually kind of broken. So I'd have to kind of do some kind of glue or sealant or something here to reseal. Air is escaping down there and he's not able to suck up the water all the way. And when you squeeze it, it leaks out that bottom there. So it's quite the mess, although I don't know if it ever was good, but I bet just the seal has kind of worn due to age, even though this was like new in the box. That's the problem with some of the action figures. Their features may be worn out, especially color change and stuff like that. Doesn't work very well. Too bad, because that's a really awesome extra bonus with this. But we can get him in a seated position. He has a tab at the bottom, but there's nothing in the tub to like secure him, so we just got to kind of put him in his tub. We'll have to see if the underleg bubbles function. Oh yes, quite well. And red plastic shrapnel is floating to the top from the mechanism at the back here. That's not good. At least that works. He can really let out an underlegger in the bathtub. That's what you like to see, you know? So the rolling doesn't do anything. It's just on wheels by chance. You can probably pop these off too. But we got the farty bubble. Oops. Revealed there. I keep spilling water all over. This is why I don't... There's electronics here. There's lighting and stuff. Please, no. It is nice when some of the older features do still function, because it is like... I mean, I'm not going to have it on my shelf filled with water or anything, because it's going to get nasty. But I wanted to show, you, since I'm opening it up on showing you off, I got to show the features, and then I want to see them anyway. If I'm getting these, I want to see the features work. So the squirting head, not so much, but the bubbling bathtub does work. I gotta dump this out. This is crazy. Yeah, the wheels will just kind of pop out of the little hooks there if you wanted them. If you just want the bathtub down instead of it potentially rolling. But it looks pretty cool with the colors blue, red, white, and blue there. So he does look pretty awesome in the tub. He's got the bar of soap. I like the idea of like the two features, filling the bathtub and doing the squirt effect. Stuff that really happened in the cartoon too, so I mean it kind of makes sense. All the stuff going on here straight out of the cartoon. Some of the features of the other figures not quite directly related to scenes or animations in the original cartoon. So it's always great to see a real reference like this. Stimpy sitting in his litter box. The spin is just kind of an added play thing. Much like the rolling on Ren's bathtub, but a lot of like flying vehicles of the time would like get wheels on them and you kind of roll them even though they're supposed to be flying and things like that, or boats as well. So it's just kind of an added play feature that's easy for them to do. A lot of fun, and I like getting figures from the times of kind of their release and success. I mean, there's been plenty of newer Ren and Stimpy things, but it's just a lot cooler for me to get like the retro stuff. So for Deluxe, these actually did have a lot going on, and the figures are still kind of got the same articulation, or better than some of the other releases, since their features kind of hinder them a little bit too. But they're all kind of playfully specific to certain things, so that's why there's no like plain Ren and Stimpy, because they were never plain. There was always something stupid and wacky going on. That's generally what I like to do here, is open up old stuff from about the 90s time period. It was really my heyday of playing with toys and things like that, so I like to show my old stuff that I still have in good condition and kind of complete collections that I had, or start new ones of stuff I didn't have that I always wanted. And you can see all the other Ren and Stimpy action figures I've opened up here too. And if you already have, there's plenty of other stuff going on here. Retro figure and retro themed figures, things of past shows and movies that I always enjoyed. Joy! This stuff is my happy helmet. It will make me happy. It'll teach your grandmother to suck eggs.